In today's video, I wanted to talk about a concept that I called attuning to your own needs. What does it mean to attune to someone's needs, especially our own? And so we're going to look at the definition of attunement. I'm going to give you some examples of ways that you can add this to your everyday life that is so easy. Like, you don't need to do big things sometimes to create big changes. So I'm going to give you a few little tips on how you can start attuning to your needs more. And I'm also going to give you the one journaling question that I did when I was so sleep deprived that helped me and started me on my journey to better sleep, because I started attuning to my needs without even realizing that's what I was doing. Now that I have the words and the language to explain what I actually did, that's what I want to share with you in this video. So make sure you stay tuned right to the end. And if you know someone who could benefit from these videos, make sure to share them with them. So for those who don't know me, my name is Carol Richard. I am the founder of the Sleep Success Academy, and I help sleep deprived individuals actually get the sleep they need. So we do this by looking at their emotional well-being, their mindset, and their behavior. So we really add the three components. And on Tuesday, September 12th, I will be offering a free presentation, which is the 3 key ingredients to better sleep. So if you would like to sign up for that, go to my website, sleepsuccessacademy.com. If you scroll down about halfway through, you'll see where you can actually register for that free presentation on September 12th, 2023. And no worries if you're watching this at a later date. Go check the website at the same spot to see if I've added more dates, and you can register for the next date available if you've missed this one. All right, so what are we going to talk about today? I'm excited to talk about attunement and what attunement means, and how being aware of how we are either attuning or not attuning to what we need can make a big difference in the quality of our sleep. So the first thing is, I'm going to give you a definition of attunement. This comes from Google. God love Mr. Google. I wanted actually really good, clear words to explain what it is. So attunement is the ability to emotionally connect on another level. It is more than just being close to someone. It is allowing yourself to feel what the other person is feeling by entering their inner world. And so that's really important, because most of us, we live in a world or a society where we're go, 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 go. And we often are paying attention to someone else, but we're listening to answer. We're not listening to be with. I'm guilty of that too. I think we all are, because life is just so busy and so rushed. And so as we sometimes attune to other people's needs, we're paying attention to what they need. And examples would be like at work. When I worked in a corporate job, I was very aware of what was expected of me, what was needed by my supervisor, by my managers. But I didn't attune to myself there. And that's what I want to talk about. It's not about our ability or inability to attune to someone else. It's about our ability to attune to ourselves, because in that environment, I was very attuned to what other people needed from me. Yet I wasn't attuned what I needed for myself. I just kept working until I couldn't anymore, and I had to be put off work because I had lost the ability to sleep. Knowing what I know today, I realize how important it is to actually learn how to attune to our own needs. Now, if you have small children, this is like the one exception. Like when somebody is dependent on you, you do have to attune to their needs first sometimes, because they need you to feed them, to clothe them, to take care of them. It's a little bit different in that instance, where you might attune to their need first before yours. But I'm talking in general. So how do you attune to your needs so that you can feel better? Because even if you don't do it in the moment, then you can always do it as soon as possible. So I'm going to share 5 things that I'm going to talk about, and each one of them is kind of a little something you can add to your day that will allow you to start attuning to yourself more. So the first thing that I want to share is about following our biological impulses. What our biological impulses are is what our biology, what our body needs every day. It needs to be able to go use the washroom when we need to use the washroom. It needs to be able to have water when it's thirsty. It needs to be able to have food when we're hungry. Those are things that we need to survive. And so when I start paying attention to what I need, instead of not eating all day because I'm too busy working, what if I made sure that when I felt that hunger, that I stopped within 5-10 minutes and went and actually got something to eat? What if that was okay for me to actually say, no, wait, I'm hungry? Or how many of us, especially me working in an office environment, I would need to go pee and I would hold it for an hour or two sometimes because I was so caught up in the spreadsheet I was working on. And what would that be like to say, no, no, just wait a minute, I'm going to go take care of my needs. And when I come back, I will be actually better able to focus on what I'm working on because my brain and my body is not going to be fighting with me because it needs me to go do something to take care of it. So that is one way you can start attuning to your needs every day by following those biological impulses. Just say to yourself, I need to go use the washroom, get up and go use the washroom, and start building that trust with your body that you're building trust with it, that it will give you the cues when it needs something, and also that your body's going to start trusting you now because you're actually going to follow the cues it's giving. So it's kind of a two side to that. So that's number one, really following your biological impulses. Number two, I have written here is adding some activities that bring you joy during the day. It's not fun when we go through all of life and we never have joy, right? We're so busy taking care of everybody else, or doing dishes or doing laundry or whatever it is that we need to do. What would it be like for you to add one or two things to your day that brings you joy? For me, reading a book, sitting down with a good book, nice warm cup of coffee. I like to find places in the house where the sun is just beaming in and I go sit in the sun. Sometimes I'll even close my eyes and pretend I'm somewhere warm. And I'm my book and my coffee, and I'm just soaking in 5-10 minutes of this good feeling. What would that feel like for you to add things in your life that brings you joy? So just start thinking about what those could be, and you say, oh, nothing brings me joy. I just want to push you a little bit, like find one thing. Number three, it's really about dealing with our emotions and our feelings as they arise. Understanding that there's times we can't do it in the moment, and that's okay, but then we make a promise to ourselves that we will actually deal with this emotion that just happened. No emotions are good or bad. Our emotions are actually guiding us in our life. Like when we feel anger, it actually means that our boundaries have been crossed in some way. So anger is a very healthy emotion. What's not healthy about anger is when we go past the anger and it turns to rage or to like dumping it on someone else. We don't want to do that. Like we have a right to feel our anger, but we have a right to express it in non-abusive ways towards others, because then they have a right not to have our anger be dumped on them. Just like we have a right to not have other people's anger dumped on us. But anger is a very good emotion, but you want to tap through it. You want to journal through it. You want to process why you felt angry in that moment. That is attuning to your need. You also want to attune to the joyful feeling, right? So not just, we name emotions negative and positive or bad or good. There's no labels on emotions. An emotion is just an emotion. So as much as I have to attune to my anger because I'm feeling it, and I'm just using anger as an example here. It can be any emotion. I also have to attune to the love and the joy I feel. So when I start really creating that attunement with my inner world of what's going on, that opens the door to better sleep, big time. Number four, it's about creating healthy boundaries. So if I'm following my impulses and bringing things that give joy to me, and then I start dealing with my emotions as they arise, then I can start creating healthy boundaries. Healthy boundaries, we all need them. They will look different for each and every one of us. So some examples of healthy boundaries that I have is I don't bring my phone in the bedroom most of the time. There's times that I do, but it's because I'm already in the bedroom. I'm too lazy to come out. So I just put it in a drawer somewhere in the bedroom. Or when my son is home from university, then I can't leave my alarm in another room because that would wake him up. So I'm being respectful of the household. And then I just put my cell phone somewheres in the bedroom, but away from me, right? So that's a healthy boundary that I have for myself. Another boundary that I have is I don't talk to anybody after 8 p.m. in a sense of I don't have my cell phone with me. I don't text. I don't do social media after 8 p.m. If you see something posted after 8 p.m. is because it was already scheduled. Those are some of the healthy boundaries. Another healthy boundary is your time, right? Having people respect your time, but first you have to respect your time. So attuning to what you need and creating those boundaries. So those are ways that you can start attuning to yourself. And then I wanted for number 5 to give you a journaling question. So when I was first put off work, I found this book and it talked about free flow writing. Is that's not how it's called, but it's you write for 15 minutes. You put a timer on, you write this sentence at the top of your page. The sentence was, my real desire in life is. I'm going to say that again. The sentence was, my real desire in life is. And then you put the timer on for 15 minutes and you start writing, just free flow writing. You keep going, like whatever comes into your mind. You don't try to analyze it. You don't try to change it. You just write. And what I found on day one is like, my real desire in life is to be able to sleep. And then I would go, but I can't do that because I have to do this and that and that and that. And I would let all of that come out on the pen. And then by like day 10, it was like, my real desire in life is to find inner peace and joy and to be able to sleep and maybe get a new job. And then I will get, but I can't do that because blah, 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 right? So, but then my last day 21, when I read day 21, I couldn't believe it because my real desire in life is really to find joy, to be comfortable in my own skin, to share my knowledge with people who need it. Like my desire really changed. And there was probably only 5% of like negative stuff in it compared to day one, where there's only about 5% of positive stuff. And this allowed me to process and attune to what was actually going on inside of me. Because if my real desire in life is to find inner peace, and I don't have inner peace, that's all what's going to come out. And that's just a way to help our body process and a way for us to attune to ourselves. So I hope that made sense on what I mean by how attuning to our own needs can actually improve the quality of our sleep. Is because we hold less stuff in, we're regulating our nervous system, and then sleep comes. So if you have any questions, you know where to reach me, support@sleepsuccessacademy.com. And at the same time, don't forget to head over to my website so you can sign up for the free presentation on Tuesday, September 12th at 7 p.m. Atlantic time, which is 6 p.m. Eastern time or 3 p.m. Pacific time here in Canada. But you can join from anywhere in the world. See you then.